Hello, this is Javier Almendarez, author of Crushing Cancer, available on Amazon. And this is the book that I put on Amazon, and it basically tells my story of how I've survived stage 4 cancer for over 4.5 years. And if you heard the story before, I'm talking extensive metastasis, right? 12 tumors or spots, lymph nodes, all the way from the brain, lungs, thoracic spine, kidneys, adrenals, pancreas, lymph nodes, pelvis. I mean, it was pretty extensive. Like I always say, it's a miracle I'm alive today. And with the tumors, not growing, regressing, and more importantly, nothing new popped up. And today, I got a little feedback, right? It's like, who are you? Who am I, right? To write about this, and why can I speak to this? Aside from the fact that, yeah, I'm here 4.5 years later when the prognosis is pretty grim. 3 to 6 months, one doctor, another one, 1 to 2 years if I'm lucky. And here I am going on 5 years and the tumor's regressing or worst case scenario, not growing. So it's pretty awesome. To give you a little bit of background, how I landed on this protocol, right? It wasn't just pulled out of thin air, it wasn't willy-nilly or just wishful thinking. I do have a chemical engineering degree background. I worked in an industry where I looked at labs daily and made process adjustments based on the lab results. So that helped me. But additionally, I've always been an avid reader. I've always read. I mean, I've read hundreds, if not thousands of books throughout my life. And some of the books that I had read previously, or known about, I should say, was Dr. Maxwell Gerson, who was curing cancer with diet alone. And then also William Coley, who came up like in the 1800s, found out that the immune system, Coley's vaccine, also curing cancer, and Linus Pauling with the IV vitamin C, right? So I've known about these things because of my extensive reading. But today, what I wanted to touch on are some of the key books that I read. And in my book, there's over 80 scientific references, right? It's not just, like I said, something that I dreamed up of. I did some extensive research. One of the books that I really kind of struck a note with me, really kind of woke me up, as opposed to looking at cancer as a genetic disease, it was a metabolic disease that the microenvironment changes, so it causes the cells to become inefficient, right? And I talked about that, right? Regular cells make 36 ATPs with a glucose oxidative phosphorylation. Cancer cells are dysfunctional, right? They only make 3 to 6 ATPs, and they have an insatiable appetite for sugar. This is by solid tumors have 15 times the glucose receptors. And this is one of those books that I read, Cancer as a Metabolic Disease by Dr. Thomas Seyfried. And that's kind of like, wow, no wonder food is important. And yeah, because it didn't make sense to me why cancer would be inefficient until I read that book. And all the supplements that I talk about and targeted therapies and so forth, I did the research and looked them up in this book here, Cracking Cancer Toolkit. I mean, it's like 600-700 pages written by an MD of alternatives and supplements and so forth that I researched. And he obviously did the research too, because all of these have cited references of studies showing the efficacy of the supplements some of the supplements that I take that then help battling cancer. As far as the food, like I said, Dr. Maxwell Gerson therapy, right? I read about him. I went to a Gerson based clinic down in Mexico, I learned the importance of food. I thought I was eating healthy till I went down there. But I further took it a step further, right? Based on the fact that cancer has an insatiable appetite for sugar, I dialed in the Gerson therapy and made it keto-based, plant-based, organic, cruciferous, because of the sulforaphanes, right? It has anti-cancer properties, and obviously the low sugar doesn't feed it. And also the importance of food. Another one, the China study by Dr. Campbell And another one that talks about the importance of food, Fork Over Knives. And of course, I dialed in the food, right, to make it keto, low sugar based. But those two last books, they started curing or reversing, heart disease, diabetes with diet alone. So, interesting thing is, I don't have those things. I do have to take blood pressure med because it's one of the side effects of the modern targeted therapies. But I'll take it, right, given the converse of not taking them. So, that's just one of the things I have to do. But that's why I wanted to talk about those books. It's not something that I just pulled out of thin air. And like I said, other things, I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have diabetes. I don't have high sugar, which is kind of interesting. And the way that I view it is, right, I got enough challenges, right, dealing with this stage 4 cancer. So I don't want to have my body fighting on multiple fronts. So eating a healthy diet is critical. And so dive into the book or check out one of those books, and that'll help. And also, the fasting, the exercise, right? The walking daily, some of my non-negotiables, staying hydrated, strength training. It just, my lifestyle completely changed. Lost over 100 pounds. So it's possible. You just got to put in the work. And so I hope that answers some of the questions that you may have as to how I landed on this and why it's working. I suggest you do your own research though too. These books are available on Amazon. You can look at them, read them, and see for yourself. And again, my book is available on there. So I hope these tips help you, and I hope you follow me. Click the subscribe and like button, and keep watching for additional tips. I get scans here in a couple months, and I'll post about that too. And I expect to have good results, right? No progression, some regression. That's what I'm hoping for. And if not, I have plans, and I'll just keep reading, right? I think one of the things that I would have to do is maybe extend my fast, but that's challenging to do. I already fast 2 days a week. But nonetheless, you guys take care of yourself. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and take care.